K through 12 speaking is very, very different. What makes a bad educational presentation, and then what makes a good educational presentation? The bad thing. One thing that I can't stand is an opener. I think is bad. When they open, well, I'm so glad to be here. It's really good that you guys could, it's, just having me here, you're wasting time.
Don't care.
We don't care.
We have to be here.
We read the bio. We have to be here. Who cares? Who cares? Come with a good opener. Grab some attention right away. Hey gang, here we are. For those of you that are watching, you can see that Meg and I are finally together. We're in the same room for the Stand Tall Leadership Show. And this is a special one, gang, because not only the fact that we're together, but this is the event that we've been hinting at, we've been talking about for a while within our ranks. And you're really excited about
this day one.
Day one.
Yes, super excited.
Yeah, so we haven't even kicked off yet. All right, so it's going to be kicking off right after lunchtime or so. We're still in the morning, but we figured we'd do a session with all of you, just talking about the world of educational speaking and what that's all about. Because a lot of times it is not what you think, So let's start off with you. Tell us about how you got into the world of educational speaking.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So it kind of just started on a vision, and it kind of took off. We had this great idea for the classroom, Kara and I, and it blossomed. We wanted to share it with more teachers. We're just going to share a little bit here and there, and then it just took off. So as that grew, we learned how to speak to others and a group, and it's not what you think.
No,
it's not. Our first
tell your first one. Oh, I love that.
It's like your first group of kids as a first year teacher.
Okay.
You're like, I'm so sorry I did that to you, but you're going to be okay. You're going to move on. It'll be fine. Our first one, our slides, we're good, but there's too many of them. We stuttered. I think our purpose was there, but it has grown a lot.
It's grown a lot.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
Let's see, it was 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now, your first one you did, was that at a conference? Was it in your own district?
Oh,
what did you do?
It was in a conference in San Antonio for ISS.
Okay.
So, yeah. And
now, how did you get into that? I mean, you just walk up and say, "Oh, I want to go speak at ISS." No, ISS. Clarify ISS.
Oh, okay. Innovative Schools Summit Conference. So,
right.
Yeah. So no, we just started looking online and finding conferences, and you can make proposals. And so you type up, what you want to propose for your speaking, and then hope that they accept you.
Yeah.
So our first one, you have to pay to get in, you have to pay to go, you have to pay to stay. So it was a big commitment for us.
And you did it.
We did it.
And you did it. And
we had 6 people in reception. We rocked the socks of 6 people.
You rocked the socks of 6 people.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah. I mean, it was like right kind of where, the world is starting to change a little bit. So
Okay.
6.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Now for me, starting off, it was 22 years ago. Now, I was a school administrator, new school administrator, and I had been presenting my own school, my own staff, talking to them, doing some trainings and stuff with them. I didn't even do district-wide trainings or anything yet at all. And I went to a conference, and at the conference, there was a professional speaker at the end of the conference. And I kept thinking, I can do that. I could do that. And I was watching how he was doing it. And so from there, I talked to him. He told me, what I needed to do, get connected with NSA, National Speakers Association, go to that conference. So I got some money together, went to that conference. The very next weekend I went, barely had the money to do it. And that was the beginning of my understanding of the world of professional speaking. I never knew that this was a thing. I just thought when you have speakers, you find, I don't even know how you find it. I didn't even think about it. You don't even think about it, So from there, I started thinking, okay, let me get this together. Let me figure it out. I started going to NSA Philadelphia conferences, at their meetings. I signed up to be a member of NSA National. And my very first speech was at my old high school.
Oh,
My father was in charge of the multicultural club.
okay.
And I said, can I speak to the multicultural club?
Yeah.
And yeah, son, sure. I said, well, I'm a professional. I need to charge. I charged some money.
You did it.
Yes, I did. I got $25.
Oh, good.
He gave me $25.
Good. Did it go well?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm walking in there with a suit. Just
Yeah.
a bunch of kids. We don't.
Yeah.
I was. They see. My dad told me it was great, but
I
we'll
think they
see.
have to.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And my father's a minister, so he comes with experience speaking, but from the minister side. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, fast forward today. Here we are now. And the focus of what we're doing now, we've been talking about within our ranks for so long, is training for educators who want to speak professionally. And this is an opportunity for educators who have experience, who have knowledge and understanding of content. You know that the world of education could be better, and you just don't know how. And you don't want to go through what we went through
No.
and how you started. And this gives you a jump start and support so that you can really make that happen. Now, before we get into how the pieces of all this, let's talk a little bit about the world of educational speaking, because it's not all glitz and glamour.
No.
No.
And it's very different. There's
Yes.
nothing like it.
There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
It's in, for those of you that are familiar with corporate speaking, speaking in healthcare, speaking in nonprofits, there's all these different avenues that you can speak. Public education or even private education, K through 12, because there's upper ed speaking, I mean, when you're in college, but K through 12 speaking is very, very different. Because most of the speakers in K through 12 education, what are they? They're bad.
Yeah. I don't know how else to say it other than you just currently, so I'm still in education teaching. So I get to go to those speakers, our district hires people, they come in and you almost cross your fingers and take a deep breath and like, is this one, am I going to walk away with something purposeful today? Or could I have been in my classroom doing the work for the last 2 hours?
Yes.
And we don't want that
No.
anymore. We want to be excited every time we go. We want teachers, educators, we're just craving all of that information all the time. And so when you're let down, it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And here's the sad thing. I'm going to let y'all know right now. If you do within our ranks, let's say you come in and you get trained, you're going to be ruined from seeing any other speaker anywhere, because now you know what it is, right? I mean,
yes, it's hard.
what about the one you were just
okay.
telling about, the one that you saw?
I was. So I was at a conference. Kara and I were speaking at this conference and we were super excited. We like to go watch. It's so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As a speaker, developing, or even I'm sure 22 years in, it's good to just watch how other people speak. So we love to go listen and learn. But this particular one, she just didn't have it. Opening keynote. Reading from
Opening keynote. Oh, I didn't know it was an opening keynote
for the whole conference.
Oh.
The whole shebang. Like, this is how we're gonna start this. Set the stage.
Okay.
Girlfriend had her manuscript, and she was just reading from it, talking in different point of view of different person. Then her messaging on her slideshow. iMessage would pop up, and we could see every message that was coming in. I wanted to go like, help her. I didn't know. And then she finished 35 minutes early.
Oh.
And so when now what we know,
Yeah.
it just,
yeah,
it makes it a little bit worse.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, everybody. It's those are listening or even watching, whatever. As an educator, when you hear that it's a professional development day, what really goes through your mind? What goes through your mind? It is like, oh, how many personal days do I have left? You're thinking, is this really going to be relevant to me? Is it worth the time?
Will they notice if I don't show up?
Yes. How far to the back can I sit? What work can I also get done? You have to do this. But I was in Long Island, New York. I did a presentation. It was at a BOCES. And so many people they signed up to come to this. So I did my presentation. It was on stand tall leadership. I mean, I was digging into some serious leadership. So it was a room full of principals, assistant principals, superintendents, assistant superintendent, directors, supervisors. Maybe about 100 people in the room. I was on it. I was in the zone. At lunchtime, everybody goes up buffet lunch. I just stand in line at buffet lunch. You don't have to serve me. I'm not that pretentious, right? So I'm standing in line, buffet lunch. One of the, she is a director in one of the schools. She comes over to me, behind me in line. And eventually you can see that she's standing there. And so I just kind of turned around and looked at her and I said, hello, she's like, I'm really upset with you.
Oh.
I was like, you are? Yes. I thought, what's wrong? She said, your presentation. So people are listening, like they can hear this.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, what happened? She says, I came here so I could get caught up on work. And I completely focused in on everything that you did the whole time. I got no work.
You're like, nailed it.
There you go.
Yes.
That's what you want.
Yes.
I mean, she was dead serious. You could see she could tell she wasn't sure if she was going to say this or not.
Right.
And she was just like, she was dead set. I am now behind on all of my work. I signed up for this so that I could get work done. And that just shows what the expectation is in educational speaking.
Yes.
It is the expectation.
So we have kind of the same response. So when you go to conferences, we get to pay, we get to go, we're going to learn, we're going to take it back as educators to these conferences. And we had a group of teachers literally drag her principal to us and say, we have to have these ladies come in. This was engaging. I learned something. I can take it back with me now. It's different when when you're when
it's good. All right. So let's think about let's do two things. What makes a bad educational presentation and then what makes a good educational presentation. All right. The bad things. I'll start. I'll go for one and then you go for one.
Okay,
all right.
Okay.
One thing that I can't stand is an opener. I think it's bad. When they open, well, I'm so glad to be here. It's really good that you guys could be, it's, just having me here. You're wasting time.
Don't care.
We don't care.
We have to be here.
We read the bio. We have to be here. Who cares? Come with a good opener. Grab some attention right away. That's mine. What's one for you?
Okay. Slides. Stopped Google slide default. Can't read the print. Too much. Small pictures. Can't hear the video. I just, you gotta have that.
Get it together. Please. Yeah. There are amazing AI templates now. Just use an AI template. Canva.
Yes.
There's so many different things. If nothing else, for the photos, like if you have images, make them fill the whole page and then put some of your words over top of them.
And you don't need a lot.
No.
You don't need a lot of slides.
No, you don't need a lot of slides. You don't need a lot of slides.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get another one. Stories. Not having any stories. There's some people go up there, just content. Even if it's a workshop. Stories, what did it say? What's the statement? Stories is the currency for life.
Ooh.
Stories is a currency for life. I think it was Patricia Fripp who said something like that. If you're at a story, if you're making a point, you're getting something across, you've got a concept, you grab a story, people are going to lean in.
Yeah.
Even if you're not great at saying a story, try. You're saying a story, it just makes all the difference.
Well, and it just connects.
It connects to you.
And you remember.
Yes. Because what do they always say? People don't always remember what you taught them, but they remember how to make you feel. Stories make you feel.
Yes.
What one you got?
Okay. Just the the O's, the like,
but
can't,
but. Saying so. Yeah.
I mean, I know we have those brain moments. When we record,
because you're processing. I know what they're doing. They're up there and they're processing.
Yeah, but when you're good, you don't have to process anymore. You've practiced, you've done it, you know where you're at, you know where you're moving, you know what you're saying. So the the likes, the buts.
Okay, so those are some of the things that are And I know all of you are nodding your heads. You have to be nodding your heads. You got an, oh, I'll do one last one real quick.
Okay.
Time. Going overtime or going under time? Like you were just saying, they were short by 35 minutes. The person who brought you in, they're ticked off.
Mhm.
I paid for an hour.
Yeah.
You're done after 40 minutes? Come on.
Mhm.
Or if you go overtime, they have a tight schedule. Know your timing. All right, what are the things?
Okay.
Let's go with the things that we love. Some really great things that really excite you. It's probably the opposite of one of the things we talked about.
Right.
But the best things about educational speaking. Can you think of anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes back to when you said when you don't have stories. It's when you do have stories, but your stories are very purposeful to what your content is.
Mm-hmm.
It drives your speech.
Yes.
I love, and yours is phenomenal because you use your height in the mini golf. I don't really like basketball, actually really love mini golf, and you make the little noise. Is like it just gets
little
something.
extra
It's like
things.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little humor.
little
Humor in your story.
Humor in your story. I had someone I was working with to help them with speaking, and they're very logical. They're a math teacher. They were just like, I'm not funny. I'm not funny. And you want me to use humor. I said, if you're not funny, tell everyone I'm not funny.
Yes.
And then say, because I'm not funny, I've curated a series of jokes. I'll be saying these jokes throughout the presentation. And it's looking at me like I was crazy. I said, no, you're going to do this. You're going to curate like 5 or 10 dad jokes that are horrible.
Yes.
And then as you present, oh, it is time for a joke. How did the crazy person get through the forest? He takes the psychopath. Thank you. And then you keep going. You will kill because you can't say a joke.
Yeah.
So even they tried it, get killed.
There you have it.
So humor's a good one.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, what do you got?
I have your tempo,
Mm.
your speed, knowing when to pause. Because if you're talking at a certain speed the entire time and you're just trying to get through all the information and oh my gosh, I got another really good. You have to have time for people to process what was said. If you have something valuable to say, there's a certain point that's like, this is it. He says, maybe a famous quote or something that really resonates with everyone. Students need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Students need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. So if you just whipped out that quote, everybody's like, oh wait, what was that quote? Some people are going to immediately start writing it down. And if you're going on, they're not listening to the next 3 to 4 or 5, 10, 20 minutes of time to what you're doing.
Because I'm still trying to write down the last 5 words.
Yes, they're trying to write the 5 words. Pause. Then say it again at a different tempo. And then people.
Yeah, it makes it stop. Like, oh, you changed that. There's something's important is coming. Yeah. You said that again. That's important.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, keeping attention when speakers either they're moving, they're purposeful movement on the stage or in the space, coming close, going away.
Where are you going to be?
Yeah, where are you? And so with Kara and I, we have to be very purposeful with where we stand and where we're at. We don't have to, we can go back and forth with our speech, and they naturally have to follow that. But as a single presenter, just about those
knowing where you are, knowing where you are, and like I'm an animated speaker on top of it. I move a lot. I know, right? I'm gonna knock you out twice here. But even with my animation, I know there are certain things I need to move a certain way. And if I'm on the wrong side of the stage, hold on, and I go running the other side, they might think it's funny and all, but no, you just be tight with it. Practice your movements along with your actual speech.
Yes, practice your movements.
Practice your movements along with your actual speech. So there you go. Those are some ideas as far as it relates to things that are not so good with speaking, things that are good with speaking. And here's the thing, if you're getting into this, all the things that you're not so good with, that you don't like, don't do. You're already 20 times better than most of the people that are out there. Make a list of things that are not good with speaking, that you hate in educational speaking, and don't do them. Just don't do them.
Yeah.
Just don't do them. So, but for our time that we have left, let's just talk about the struggles in the world of educational speaking. Like you gotta get gigged, you gotta get books, you gotta you gotta get a job. You want to go somewhere and you want to speak, and you want to get paid to do so.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy sometimes to get those spots and to be able to get into those things.
And I think what it comes down to is you're passionate about it. You, as an educator, you have something good and you want to share with other educators. And so you have to think back that what you have is valuable. You have what you're saying, what you're speaking on is valuable. And so to spend that money, in the forefront to, find the conferences, to get in, to go, it's worth your time.
It's worth your time. It might just be worth your time. Find the right people that you connect with. Also, you got to keep in mind who the decision makers are, meaning like who's going to decide in the schools to bring you in, right? Principal, assistant principals, maybe. Now, more so principals, really. That's your main decision maker, right? You have some supervisors, some assistant superintendents, superintendents. They're the decision maker. Those are the ones you want to get in front of, right? So when you go to these conferences, or you're getting these opportunities to speak, you get in front of them, get a business card. Even if you're new at it, get a business card that you can connect with them. Get a paper for signups to get their emails so you can follow up with them. This all increases the probability that you can get into schools, because in educational speaking, this is how it works. You know this, conferences, right? And you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get paid for the conference. The money comes from the school districts. Conferences, you can get a little bit of something, but then from the conferences, you curate people that you can get to, and then you get into the schools, and then you work with those teachers, you work with those administrators, you work with those people, building long-term relationships with them.
It's how you made them feel.
Yes.
That you can make impact in their school, in their district. A positive impact.
Yeah, and that's all you're really doing. That's the main thing. And you got to go in with the concept of you're there to solve a problem. Everybody has an issue or problem in their school. Maybe it's curriculum, it might be instructional strategies, it might be leadership, it might be idea developing. The goal is that you're going in to help solve their problem. Either solve it or make the problem better. And you do that, you're good.
Yeah. And then they're going to start recommending you for other
Yes.
things.
Yes.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it.
So we're about to start this thing within our ranks. We're excited about it. We have 11 people coming in who are going to get immersed with all the stuff that we just kind of talked about.
You're going to blow their minds.
So.
I'm so excited to watch the change. Like just walking into the hotel alone, I was like, we belong here. This hotel is gorgeous. And as educators, like you go to a conference, you usually share a room, you don't value.
Yeah.
Value. So
Treat them like they're high class. We're at the Intercontinental Buckhead, Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. This is it. I mean, it's high class. We have the space that's here. We're going to give them everything that I got. We're going to have coaching sessions. We're going to talk about educational speaking. We're going to dive in deep to all these different types of things. And it's really it's going to change their lives. Yeah.
They're going to leave here empowered.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do once we turn this off, we're going to have the weekend, and then Meg and I are going to come back on. We're going to talk about what it was like. So this podcast is not over, right? So after you hear us say, "All right, see you," you're going to hear us come right back and say, "Oh my gosh, it was over with." There's some highlights that we saw.
Yeah, we're going to be exhausted on that
one. Yeah, so we'll be tired on that one. But the whole point is for you to kind of get a before and after understanding.
Yeah.
All right. If you are interested, you have knowledge in education, and you have to have at least 10 years experience. All right, gang. I'm only bringing people with at least minimum 10 years experience to this. If you're interested in any way in doing educational speaking, go to withinourranks.com and we'll make it happen for you.
Yeah.
All
right.
So don't go anywhere. Hold on. We're going to end this, and within seconds, you're going to hear us come right back on, and we're going to talk about what it's like at the end. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're back. My gosh. I told you it's going to be within seconds, but for us, it's been a weekend. Within Our Ranks retreat summit. It's give me a word. Try pick one word that you think represents the weekend.
Oh,
I know.
powerful.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say for me, empowering. In that we had everybody who came together. We had 11 educators from all over the country They come and we went through and we talked about what they needed to do in order to be the speaker in the education space. And there was multiple moments that were just crazy good. Let's think of a couple moments. We didn't even prep for this. We just finished.
Yeah.
We just finished. Everybody walked out. We were cleaning up. We're like, we got to do the second half of the presetation. But some powerful moments during the weekend.
Yeah, I think the most powerful moment being freshly into this educational speaking world for me was their moment of clarity of not only that I can do this is for me, I'm doing it, and then what they're doing, like what they're going to take away.
Yes.
That's just one thing.
Yes, I think for me, powerful moment was near the end when they had time to work, and then we went around and we asked them, okay, what's your one thing? What are you going to do? And some of them, they came up with their brand, they came up with their speech, they came up with their idea. The one, Inferno. And then she says, oh, she has all these different things with that.
Hair goes with it.
And her hair with the red hair goes with it. It goes perfect with it. We had a principal who came in and had not a clue what she could talk about. And she's narrowed it down to it's this and what to do and how. And we have one, she was a former teacher of the year, former national teacher of the year, who does all the speaking thing, but doesn't know how to market herself.
Yeah.
Oh, and now she's like, I know exactly what to do now. I know exactly what to do.
She's
and how to do it.
repurpose with a purpose.
Repurpose with a purpose.
Huge.
Yes, repurposing things with a purpose. So
yes.
It was absolutely phenomenal. It was absolutely wonderful. We had a photographer.
We did. That was great.
Yeah.
That felt like a long time ago, but it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a photographer and we have photos. Each person got an opportunity to be in front of everyone else as if they were presenting, and got professional photos that they can use for marketing purposes. Then we went out to this beautiful vestibule area in the hotel. They got some nice headshot pictures. It was just phenomenal.
Oh, and I think the bonding, the community that happened in very short amount of time was amazing. We were crying, we were laughing, I was yelling at you.
Yeah, you did.
A couple times it's like, why didn't you tell us? It's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's just at the end of the day, I think that everybody in this community, they feel safe in the space, and we get to lean on each other. And I think that's the beautiful thing about educational speaking.
Yes, and that's what the whole point of Within Our Ranks is. It's not just training for educators who want to be professionals, but to create a community of educators who speak professionally, who are at a higher level. We all know what professional development, PD, is like in K through 12 education. It's expected not to be good.
Oh, it's not great for you.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, and it wasn't. We've been through this. And either they like I said before, I'm sure I've said it plenty of times. Either they have great content and they're boring, or they're really entertaining, but the content is not the greatest. We want the marry of those two things together. So we're having a community of educators that are trained to not only have amazing content, but to be entertaining, to be insightful, to be above the level. Our bar for professional development and training and education needs to be higher.
Yes.
And that's what this does.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
And we're using the skills they already have. All of these people this weekend, they had the skills.
Yeah.
You just brought it out.
Well, thank you.
It was fantastic.
It was.
It was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend.
Yeah,
so we're having another one of these. Yes. Because right now it is the 21st of January. We're down here in Atlanta, Georgia for this. The next one is the last week in June, the last weekend in June. I think it's 26th, 27th, 28th. I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I have a calendar in front of me, but it's the last weekend in June, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All the schools should be out by then. I know your Southern schools are out already. Midwestern should be pretty much done. Northeast, which is usually the last ones, we're out. Everybody, we can get those educators here. You have knowledge, you have experience, you have understanding. You know you have a message to share to make schools better. You have that passion, but you don't know where to start. Well, you've done a little bit and you don't know where else to go. Well, you think you're really good at it, but you're not. I mean, whatever those things are, come get the training, get the knowledge, and start the journey. That's what you're saying. Start the journey. Anything else?
I don't know, it's gotta start with a spark.
Start with a spark. Ooh, I like that one. Huh? Start with a spark. That might be our marketing leading up to our June event. Start with a spark, something. Maybe that's what it is. All right, gang.
Okay,
Woo.
yeah.
We got to finish
We
packing
did
up.
say that the first video, if you're watching this, the
Mhm.
first video, we're gonna look like peppy and excited and
Yeah.
like, and then the last video, we're gonna be exhausted. I
Yeah,
think
and this is
we
the
did
time.
our job.
We did our
We did
job.
it.
We did it. So let's finish packing up the
All right.
room.
Yep.
We're going to our minds are going to be going continually some more is what else we need to do and how else we can make it better. But I'm telling you, gang, go to withinourranks.com. Check it out. Look into it. This is what educational speaking, professional development should be. This is
Boom.
it. All right. There you go. Hey,
All
it was
right.
good to do this live for
Yes,
you.
it was good.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for not taking me out.
Yeah, I know. I like my hands get going.
Animation.
It's like boom, bang. Well, there's a picture of me ready to slap myself anyway. Ready to slap. There you go. Oh my gosh.
All right, until
So
next time.
until next time, and then we'll be back 2 different screens. You're in
Yep.
Wyoming, I'm in New Jersey. It is what it is, but we'll keep
It's
it
all
going.
right, and then together again in June.
And again, Jen. There
All
you
right,
go.
hopefully we see you
There you
there.
go. All right.
Thanks,
Take care,
guys.
guys.